All right, now that we've got this little room kind of done, it's time to start on the rest of the garage. The first thing I need to do is tear down some metal shelves and a huge wood shelf and kind of change the dimensions of it and make like a little storage loft. The goal there is to be able to put the CNC plasma table under that storage loft and it still have space to put some stuff above it. So let's get on that and get into today's episode. We've got our shelf, storage loft, whatever you want to call it, built. But with what I want to put under here, I'm going to need a good amount of light. So what I have is 3 of these T5 LEDs. I will link them in the description. All I need to do is mount those. I'm just going to attach it using these little clips, and they take 1 screw each. So that'll screw right into the 2x4 and the light will clip in there. So we'll knock that out real quick. I think that's going to work. All right, next thing or next area I want to tackle is above the door into the little clean room. Use that space above the door to mount the TV and maybe build a shelf for the receiver and the Xbox and all that, and then the 2 big speakers on either side flanking the TV. For now, I need to get all that wood down. I'm not going to really use it for anything. And that rack, I think we can repurpose that. I think that we can use that for a metal storage rack for tubing, because after it gets cleaned up, next thing I want to do is paint that wall. And I'm going to use this Valspar paint. It's the same stuff that we used in the little room, except this is the light gray, whereas that was the dark gray. So I want to paint that. We're only going to paint to about that point, because if you look, well, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Okay. So there's some actual pallet wood that's attached to the wall. I'm going to bring that up to about even with the top of the door across. I think I have enough pallets outside. If you notice, there's some red, blue, and white paint on it. Kind of going for that American flag motif without the actual American flag. So it's going to have that feel. But with the aged pallet wood, I think it'll look pretty good. Anyway, we're going to bring it up to the top of that door frame, and the rest is just going to be painted. far side of the wall, there's the network cabinet. That's up. Right above that, that gray box with the wire running out, that's actually an outlet. I extended that over to power the box and the TV and everything. TV is mounted on the wall, cords dangling down. I got my Craftsman cabinet on the wall and started to hang my Harbor Freight organizers on the wall. Now, and I didn't want to bore you with all that. It's real monotonous stuff, and let's be honest, you'll just fast forward past it anyway. But now what I need to do is make a shelf to put the rest of the equipment on and speakers. To do that, we're going to use, I've got a board. It's like 3/4 of an inch thick, about 12 inches wide, and it's way longer than we need, so I'll trim that down. But to mount it to the wall, we're going to do the black iron pipe trick. As you can see, got our shelf up now. I could probably hang from it. I'm not gonna try it, but I could probably hang from it. So now what I need to do is get all the stuff up there, plugged in and connected and all that good stuff. And then we'll have a TV and tunes in the garage. So I'm gonna get that done. And then I need to start filling this out with the pallet board. And I also started, I got all the buckets or whatever you want to call them on the rack. And I started populating them with some of the stuff, some of the tabs and stuff from Mayhem Metalworks, bearings, you know, axle plates and stuff for go-karts and mini bikes. But that's what that's supposed to be for. And I'll put some nuts and bolts and stuff. Like, I've got boxes of hardware that I need to go through and get in here, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So I'll get that done, and I'll start getting the pallet board up on this wall and everything interconnected on that shelf. Whew, man, I'm getting tired. That wall is pretty much done now. Everything's hooked up, everything works. I still need to put my switch and UPS and stuff in there, in that little enclosure. But yeah, that's it. So let's keep getting at it. From the pictures, you can probably tell. I can get over here. We got our two 20 amp, and each one of these is on its own breaker, and that'll power our two compressors. You've seen those. There's actually a video I've done repairing those. I'll link that up there. I'm going to run both of those for a little while. I hope to purchase a larger 2-stage compressor instead of having to run the 2 singles, but it's not in the budget yet, so we'll have to wait. Now, what I really need is above the weld table, I need an outlet. I don't want to string any cords across the ground. I've dropped a few heavy pieces of steel and have actually severed extension cords. So yeah, we don't want that. So what I want to do is add another outlet up there, and then I purchased this cord reel from Harbor Freight. So what I need to do, there's already a 15 amp circuit. I'm going to tee off of that because I don't think we're going to use it on this workbench. The workbench is actually going to go away. We'll tee off of that, run it up and on the ceiling. We'll put a box there, and then I'll attach that cord reel up there. I'm not going to bore you with that. It's pretty straightforward. And while I'm comfortable with it, if you are not comfortable, seek professional assistance for any electrical stuff, and make sure that you're doing things by code. You don't want to have an issue later on. So I'm going to get that done. I'll bring you back once I get it done. So I've got that all plugged in. I've adjusted the stop ball for it, so grab it, plug something in. Oh, that's embarrassing. And if I need to, I can drag it. I think it's 30 feet long. And then it's out of the way. Alright, so we got a lot done in this video. We still got a long way to go, unfortunately. So what's next? I've got to get the 220 volt outlet on this wall for the plasma table, and then I have to come in and we're going to sheath this wall with something. Not 100% sure yet what I'm going to use. It's overkill, but I do have the 3/4 inch plywood that came off the wooden shelf that was here, and I mean, if I don't have to spend money, that's a plus. It is heavy, like I said, way overkill, but it's not going to hurt anything. I do have a little concern though, if I do use wood on this wall and the plasma table is like right there, the sparks and everything get blasted around. I'm a little concerned about fire, just a little. But what I think I might do is, if whatever we put on the wall, I'm going to put over top of that, I want to maybe do some of that corrugated galvanized steel. Just, it'll look cool and it'll protect it from fire. So I think we're going to go that route. But I don't know if you guys have tried to buy stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever your favorite hardware store is. Wire? Wow. If it's available, it is expensive. For the 220 that I need to run, because of the distance and the amperage, I'm going to run 8 gauge. And I think a 50-foot roll would cover that span, but I also need another one on this wall. Can't tell you what that's for yet. And then I also need one over by the breaker, and that should be for a welder. So that's 3 220 volt lines, I believe, plus breakers and 8 gauge cabling and the outlets and the boxes and everything. It adds up real fast. So we're going to take a break with the garage build out. As you can see behind me, there's a lot going on. It is an absolute disaster in here, but we're getting there. I'm feeling good about it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. But there will be a little break in the garage build out series just to financially recover and get ready for what we have to do. So yeah, we'll fill the void with something. But again, thanks for sticking around, watching the content. We're getting good feedback on the garage build out, so that's good. Appreciate that, guys. Until next time, get out there and do it.